What's up, Taiwan? Good evening. I'm Erika Liu with 10 minutes of news from here in Taiwan and around the world. Taiwan reported 275 new COVID-19 cases on Monday, including 133 local ones. It was the fourth day in a row with more than 100 local cases. Even though the numbers are climbing, there are increasing calls for Taiwan to reopen its borders. Louise Watt reports.
More than 300 local cases were reported over the weekend, a seeming setback for Taiwan's efforts to control COVID-19. Taiwan has dealt with the pandemic much better than most other countries through strict border controls and quarantines. But recent weeks have seen new outbreaks linked to the Omicron variant. In an unusual move, health authorities have started separating the count for serious and mild cases. And they revealed that of the more than 1,700 domestic cases so far this year, all but 4 were mild or asymptomatic. This new way of reporting case numbers could be a sign that Taiwan is preparing the public for living with COVID, and maybe even a reopening of its borders. Many Taiwanese appear ready for a shift in strategy. Taiwan's health minister said the goal is for people to go about their daily lives as much as possible.
是要在趋近正常生活，换句话对正常生活不至于限制妨害过大，在过正常生活下的积极抗疫。
Chen Shizhong said that separating out patients with mild and severe symptoms will lower the burden on hospitals, where all patients usually have to go. Vaccination rates are also higher than they used to be, fueling calls for fewer restrictions. But Taiwan is for now erring on the side of caution. On Sunday, a 3-day music festival in the southern county of Pingdong was abruptly cancelled after one attendee tested positive. Local authorities made that call, but the Central Epidemic Command Centre says that in future, large-scale events won't be shut down unless there is a cluster infection among staff. It's another sign of how Taiwan's government is trying to balance preventing the virus and living with it. Esnaya Zhou and Louise Watt for TaiwanPlus.
Shanghai is beginning to test every one of its 26 million residents. That's as COVID cases topped 9,000 in a single day. China has sent the military and some 10,000 healthcare workers to Shanghai to help carry out the testing. It's the country's largest public health response since the initial 2019 outbreak in Wuhan. Ukraine is accusing Russia of committing war crimes not far from the capital, Kyiv. An advisor to Ukraine's president says the city of Bucha is like a scene from a horror movie, with bodies strewn through the streets. Moscow is denying it has hurt civilians, calling the accusations a provocation. Ryan Kilpatrick reports.
Corpses litter the streets and fill what Ukrainian authorities claim are mass graves. All evidence, they say, of Russian war crimes in the town of Bucha, on the outskirts of Kyiv. As Russian forces retreat from the capital region, they leave behind what Ukraine's president termed concentrated evil.
Президенти зазвичай не записують таких звернень, як це. Але сьогодні я повинен сказати саме так. Сказати після того, що відкрилося в Бучі та інших наших містах, звідки вигнали окупантів. Сотні вбитих людей. Закатованих, розстріляних, мирних людей. Тіла на вулицях, замінована територія, заміновані навіть тіла вбитих. Повсюди наслідки мародерства. На нашій землі побувало концентроване зло, вбивці, кати, гвалтівники, мародери, які називають себе армією і які заслуговують тільки на смерть після того, що вони зробили.
Ukrainian authorities say bodies are piled hundreds deep, with bound hands that bear the scars of close-range gunshots, signs of torture and systematic execution. Moscow maintains that these images are fake, but they have sent shockwaves throughout not only Ukraine, but all of Europe.
In diesen Stunden erreichen uns furchtbare und grauenerregende Aufnahmen aus der Ukraine. Wir sehen Dutzende erschossene Zivilisten in Bucha, ein Gebiet nördlich von Kiew, das bis vor wenigen Tagen vom russischen Militär kontrolliert worden ist. Straßen übersät mit Leichen, notdürftig verscharrte Körper. Es ist von Frauen, Kindern und Alten die Rede, die unter den Opfern sind. Die Ermordung von Zivilisten ist ein Kriegsverbrechen.
Russian tanks and armored personnel carriers rolled onto these streets in the first days of the invasion, barreling toward the capital before Ukrainian ambushes stopped them in their tracks. Today, these streets are carpeted with their burnt-out hulks. Bucha has become a graveyard for an as-yet untold number of Ukrainian civilians, but also for Russia's ambitions of quickly seizing Kyiv and deposing President Zelensky. Ryan Hill-Kilpatrick for TaiwanPlus.
4 men are out on bail after demolition gone awry. The accident caused chaos on Taiwan's rail network Friday as crowds of people were heading home for the long holiday weekend. The 4 could face charges of endangering public safety. John Van Trieste has more.
Free to go, for now. After overnight questioning, police released 4 men allegedly involved in a mishap that paralyzed rail travel and might have taken lives.
我们静候司法调查报，我们全力配合。好，先这样，谢谢。
On Friday, just meters from train tracks, the suspect's construction company demolished a storage silo at a cement plant in the southern city of Kaohsiung, taking an unapproved shortcut in the process.
施工计划书是由上而下，就分段是一层一层慢慢的去用大钢牙去慢慢的把它拆卸下来。
Instead, the company knocked the 52-meter-high silo down in one go with a crane and wrecking ball. The silo toppled in the wrong direction, hitting a power transmission tower on the way down. The loss of the tower knocked out power to both high-speed and regular trains in the area. Over 120,000 travelers were affected by the ensuing disruptions to service, which went on for up to 7 hours. The construction firm faces fines and demands for compensation, but that could be just the beginning of the legal troubles the 4 suspects on bail could face. Prosecutors say they may have violated construction rules laid out in the criminal code, and they say they're working to charge the 4 with endangering public safety. Damon Lin and John Van Trieste for TaiwanPlus.
Taiwan is marking Children's Day, a holiday that put kids front and center. But as Eric Liu reports, it's not all fun and games. Taiwan has one of the lowest birth rates in the world.
A shrinking population. Taiwan's birth rate is now officially the lowest in the world, standing at 1.07 births per woman in 2021. That is significantly lower than the United States, China, and even Japan, which are all known for low birth rates. Surveys show that many young Taiwanese do not consider marriage important, but there is also a more practical reason behind many people's decision not to have children.
台湾低薪跟高房价的环境，让想筹组小家庭的人，他面临的困难其实是增加的。
In 2019, the birth rate in Taiwan was surpassed by deaths for the first time, and it's only worsened since then. The Ministry of the Interior says the country's population shrank 0.84% year on year in January of 2022. To encourage couples to have more children, the government offers subsidies and financial assistance, including an expanded rental subsidy program announced in March. But spending may have to increase greatly to have the desired effect.
像台湾一年大概政府花在这边的预算大概在100亿的上下。那如果我们看看欧洲像法国跟德国大概都投入将近1年4000亿，我们邻近的日本也1年投入到5000亿，那他们的很快的就反映在他们的生产的这个个案数上面。
Aside from financial assistance, Huang feels more needs to be done within society to make having children less of a burden.
所以我们如何要给这个孕妇能够有尊荣感，在职场能够有遇到一些比较友善的对待，这些大概都是相当的重要。
If Taiwan can't turn the low birth rate around, government figures project a massive loss of population in the coming decades. Klein Wong and Eric Liu for TaiwanPlus.
Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. I'm Erika Liu. Remember to download the TaiwanPlus app for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. Finally, today, we leave you some images of red pandas and snow leopards at Dublin Zoo in Ireland. Take care and see you next time.